Well, I'll give you some scenarios. I think that'll help illustrate it best. It could be that an adult child comes back home from out of state and notices that maybe their mom or dad is starting to struggle. Things around the house are kind of falling apart. Maybe bills aren't getting paid. Maybe the fridge is empty, or there's some confusion, some cognitive change that they're noticing. And they really think they need an outside person to come in and help them understand what are the options, what can they do to kind of help bridge the gap between the person who's living at home and what their needs are. And, oftentimes that is going to be a transition to senior care, but sometimes we're able to make recommendations that include having help come into the home or just arranging maybe some transportation, that kind of thing. So one thing that I'm always struck by is the financial side of this and how much we need to talk about that and plan for that. And so that's a big part of our discussion as well, because when we start talking about senior living, it isn't inexpensive. And so it's really important that you understand all your options. What ways are there to pay for care? That's another thing we spend a lot of time with our families on, and maybe what programs or opportunities are out there to help pay for care as well. So another scenario is, and this is unfortunately, a lot of what we do is acute crisis. So we receive a lot of referrals from the hospitals or the inpatient rehab facilities here in town, or the primary care physician's offices. And maybe it's gone beyond, we need to know what it's going to look like when the time comes to, the time has passed, we've got to make a decision now. And we can shine in those situations because we can move very fast in helping families get up to speed as quick as possible so that they can make quick and informed decisions. But ideally, having time to educate so that, we can have preparation in place ahead of time would be our ideal situation.
And I know from personal experience, there's a few things. I've had elderly neighbors. I've got one in her 90s that I just adore, my friend. And I know and she lives independently. So going into different surgeries and then rehab and all of that.
Yeah.
Whoever her doctor is, and then whatever the hospital, all they do is say, okay, you need to go to rehab, and they just give you a list. They didn't give us anybody to help with resources or anything. So are you saying that some of the hospitals now might bring
yes.
Because that's something that didn't happen.
I was at the hospital yesterday. Yeah. My team's there right now. So yeah, we definitely, we've made inroads. I think the biggest challenge is when I describe to people that I'm a placement agency, I oftentimes get a blank look because we don't change tires. We don't make donuts. People don't know we even exist out there. So our job is to, talk to great people like you and try to get the word out so that if you have a friend, a neighbor, or another member of your church that you see struggling or needing some assistance and getting some questions answered, connecting us so that we can answer questions and help bridge that gap of knowledge and help people